Yay, Tracy, good to see you. Christina, I'm so happy you're here. Nancy, hello. Kathy, so good to see you. Awesome, you guys. So today is our monthly meditation class. And we are going to discuss meditation first. Then we're going to practice a 20-minute meditation. And we will have whatever time is left over for Q&A later. Okay? All right. So let's get started. I know sometimes people drop in, and that's okay. We'll just start talking and we'll see how it goes. So, before we begin, what is the one thing that we always do? I see the lips moving. Kathy, Lakshmi, you got it. I know Nancy got it too. I know you all got it. You all know what is the first thing we do. So let's close our eyes and prepave. We are gathered here tonight to relax and enjoy our connection with Source. We want to feel our connection. We want to understand meditation a lot better. We want to go deep. We want to stay as long as we can. We want to come out feeling happy and refreshed, ready to receive the guidance that moves us forward. Breathe all of that in, let it go, let it be done. Awesome. So, you've all been to meditation class before. Do you still want a revision? Yes? Yeah? Christina, do you want a revision? I think, if I remember correctly, Christina needs help to find that space. Am I right in remembering, Christina? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not so long ago, Christina, I was exactly like you. So go ahead, take your time. I know you're just coming from work, so relax. Finish your dinner. I just finished mine. And I'm just going to talk about meditation. If a question comes up, and that applies to anyone here, if a question comes up, feel free to jump in and ask your question. So let's talk about why do we meditate? It's so important to understand, why do we meditate? Why does everyone say that life improves when you meditate? Health improves when you meditate. Why? Well, it's because the main problem is the way we think our thoughts, and meditation is about the absence of thought. That's why. So we get our thoughts out of the way. Our thoughts are the things that are creating a problem. If we are not getting what we want in life, that means that our thoughts need adjustment, calibration. And while we work on calibration, we don't want our life to come to a standstill. We still want to manifest the things that we want. And so meditation helps us to do that. And that's why we meditate. So meditation is about the absence of thought. We still have to do the work. It doesn't mean if you meditate even for an hour, twice a day, right, Nancy? I know someone who does that. Even if we meditate twice a day for an hour, it does not mean that we don't have to do the work on changing our belief systems. That's not what it means. Meditation does not replace. Let me repeat that again. Meditation does not replace the work that we have to do on calibrating our thoughts and aligning ourselves. Okay? Mary, so good to see you here. Stella agrees, although she can't see you. Yes, and Nancy, that is perfect, because we got to do both hand in hand, side by side. One does not replace the other. Okay? So meditation is a means for us to set our thinking aside, and when we do that, we find immediate alignment. When you go into that space that we call meditation, it is so yummy. It's so delicious. You just want to stay there. You know, like I'll put my timer on for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and there are some days when I'll just repeat it. I'll go like, no, I don't think so. I think I want another 15 minutes. Right? Because it's so delicious. But life was never meant to be spent in meditation. Life was meant to be spent living life out in the world, experiencing contrast. Because here's the thing. If you remove thinking, if you get your mind out of the way, you also remove contrast. And if there is no contrast, there is no joy in living life. Okay? So, we don't want to remove contrast, but it's helpful to remove it for a little while. You know why it's helpful? Because when we remove contrast for a tiny little bit, we can feel the difference. Let me explain that in another way. If I take a hammer, let's call it a sledgehammer, and I start hitting my head with it, that's painful. When I stop, I feel better. Don't I? I feel better, right? Anyone would feel better. That's exactly what happens when we meditate, because we are literally hurting ourselves with our thoughts. If we are not manifesting the things that we want, we are hurting ourselves with our thoughts. So to stop the thinking process creates this beautiful space of relaxation, and now we can tell the difference between alignment and not. See, you got to know the difference, otherwise how will you know that you're out of alignment? Even with a car, we know, like, who here does not drive? I think everyone drives except Nancy. I know, Nancy. I know you. Have you ever been behind a car and you look at the wheels and you say to yourself, you need an alignment? Because you can actually see the wheels going not smoothly, right? So the thing is, because we meditate and we feel what meditation feels like, that creates a benchmark so that when we are not in meditation, we can tell how aligned we are. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? You know how we say the emotional scale, like I summarize the emotional scale from 10, 0 to 10. Well, meditation is the 10. So I get to experience the 10 without doing any thinking work to get to the 10. So now when I step back into my life, I should be able to feel when I'm not in alignment. And that is very helpful. That is so important. Right, guys? Does that make sense? That's why we meditate. And the respite that we get from thinking our thoughts is rejuvenating, it's energizing, it is helpful. Even a little bit of time spent in alignment is helpful. It's helpful to allow guidance to come in. It's helpful because we relax, and that helps our bodies to return to physical health. Right? Everyone knows that when you meditate, your blood pressure improves. Right? That's one of the main, doctors started recommending meditation because your heart health improves when you meditate. And now it is used in psychotherapy all over the world because people can see the benefit of meditation to individuals who have mental health issues. But why is it beneficial to people who have mental health issues? It is beneficial to them because they are able to get their head out of the way, their mind out of the way, and actually connect with source energy. Filling up on source energy gives us the energy that we need to keep going. It gives us hope because it takes us right up the emotional scale without having to think our way up the emotional scale. You got to remember that a lot of people do not know how to think their way up the emotional scale. A lot of people don't understand how to do that, don't know how to do that. Which is one of the reasons why we have mental health issues in the first place. Because people don't know how to process their emotions. So this is why we meditate. Now, to me, the way I picture meditation, because I used to ask, where do we go in meditation? Because if we are doing something, I want to know what the result will look like so that I can understand whether or not I'm doing it right. This was my question, Christina. I know this is your question. This was the question that prevented me for many years from being able to meditate. Because in meditation, if you look for meditation, you will not find it. Because it just is. And looking for something means that it's missing. Law of attraction says whatever you pay attention to is what you manifest. So if I'm looking for something, that means I don't have it. My attention is on looking for it, which means I don't have it. So if my attention is on looking for something, I will just keep looking for it in perpetuation and not find it. And this is the reason why I was not able to meditate for a very long time. And hopefully understanding this will help those people who feel like, how can I ever stop thinking? Anyone here ever feel like, how can I ever stop thinking? You're not meant to stop thinking. I know, Janet. You're not meant to stop thinking. You're just meant to create a space between your thoughts. Your thoughts don't have to overlap each other. We are never meant to stop thinking, because that's like saying to my heart, stop pumping blood. It's going to pump blood. That's its job. My mind has the job to think. It's not going to stop thinking, but we can slow down the thinking process. And meditation is the process of slowing down thought, not eliminating it, because we will never be able to do that. Just slow it down. That's all. And so all the exercises that we do, whether listening to a guided meditation, whether we are repeating a mantra or an affirmation, whether we are looking at a burning flame, all those exercises are repetitive exercises. When you do any repetitive exercise, your thinking slows down. Do you remember when you were a kid and your teacher said that you have to learn times tables and you got to repeat them over and over again? Do you remember that? Anyone remember that? I remember that like it was yesterday. I hated it. And it was boring. It was boring. I didn't want to do it. Yes, Kathy. It was boring. When we feel bored, what is happening is that our thinking has slowed down. But our mind doesn't like it because it wants to go fast. It doesn't want to slow down. However, that's why meditation is uncomfortable for fast thinkers. People who have very strong minds can't stop thinking. Christina is definitely in that category of people. And so that's why it feels hard to meditate. I don't want to slow down thinking. I want to think faster. You know why? Your mind tells you that you should think faster because you've got problems in your life and your mind says, what do you mean I should stop thinking? I want to think faster so I can find all the answers, all the solutions to all these problems. It wants to go. Kathy knows what I'm talking about. Yep. It wants to be like, let's go. We got so much to do. Exactly. Yep. What do you mean I have to slow down? I don't want to slow down. But the slowing down is important because when you slow down a car, you have better control over the car. Your mind is like a very powerful vehicle. You got to have better control over it. Slow it down. So we're not eliminating thought. Let me tell you something. The thought of eliminating thought to me was scary. What do you mean, eliminate thought? It feels like eliminating thought to those people who think a lot. It feels like I'm going to jump out of an aircraft without a parachute. Like, I can't do that. So you have to shift your understanding and you tell yourself, in order to calm yourself down, you tell yourself, I'm not eliminating thought, I'm just slowing it down for a very brief period of time. And that is a logical explanation your mind is willing to accept and allow you to practice meditation. And getting your thoughts out of the way is so important because unless you are living your best life, meaning all your relationships are amazing, your health is amazing, you are confident, you have all the skills that you want, you've got tons of money in the bank, every aspect of your life is amazing. Unless you're that person, you need to practice alignment. And practicing alignment, part of it is meditation, and the bigger part of it is to train your mind to become positive. That's the bigger part. And one of the most important things about meditation is to stay positive after you come out of it. Don't go back to the old thoughts. Leave those old thoughts behind. They're the ones that created the mess. Right? Don't pick them up again. All right. So, questions? Is everyone comfortable with meditation? Mary, are you comfortable with meditation? I can't hear you. You're muted. I still can't hear you.
I really have not tried meditation in a while.
Okay.
But I know it's supposed to be good and relaxing and good for you.
Okay.
I just haven't.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah. I'll share a couple of techniques with you before we start. Okay? All right. Tracy, go ahead with your question.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. It's actually not a question. I just wanted to let you know I do need to sign off because I'm actually sitting. I'm in the parking lot right now. I'm in my car um, of my yoga studio where they are having a meditation series tonight.
Okay. All right. We'll
So
see
I'm
you
going
later.
to for 8 o'clock, but I wanted to jump on here. I was on here while I was driving here because I didn't want to miss the first half. I'm multitasking my meditations tonight.
Awesome. Thank you
But
for
I
letting us
very much
know.
appreciate all that description. You hear things over and over again about meditation in general, but everybody says it a little bit differently. And I loved your explanation and your examples and your analogies. Those are awesome. The 2x4.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. All right, Christina, I want to hear from you, sweetheart. Did that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So we want to use either we focus on the sound of our breath. And we just get bored focusing on the sound of our breath. And that allows us to increase the space between our thoughts, and we go into the space which is where all meditation is. We can use the sound of our breath. We can use a mantra. We can repeat an affirmation. We can close our eyes and imagine a candle, burning candle. All of those things. The main thing is to engage your 5 senses. For most people, the dominant senses are the sense of sight and the sense of hearing. So we try to engage in the imagery that we create or any talk that we do in a guided meditation. The idea is to engage your hearing and your sight so that you're so focused on the voice of the guide that you forget about what's going on in your life. That's the objective. The objective of everything that we do is to forget what's happening in your life. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice a 20-minute meditation. I'm going to play some music and I am going to talk you into relaxation. Okay? Our objective is to allow abundance. So I am going to talk about abundance in the first part of the meditation. And then I'm going to let the music play until 20 minutes are over, and then I will bring you out. My sincere advice is don't look for meditation. Let it find you, and it will. It will always find you if you don't look for it. You will know that you were there when you come out. But while you're there, you might not know that you are there. You might just feel really comfortable. And that's perfect. Okay? All right. So, let me share my screen.